You're stuck trying to get out of debt and you find that you could potentially qualify for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. If you're someone who tends to run for the hills the moment they hear the word bankruptcy, don't run just yet. In this video, we'll dive into a few important questions that help me decide whether or not to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy was the right decision for me. Let's get started. Welcome to the Ascend Finance YouTube channel, where we specialize in providing unbiased complimentary calls and debt calculators to help you understand your options to get out of debt cheaper, easier, and faster. My name is Ben, and I'm the co-founder of Ascend. Now, this video is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as legal or financial advice. In today's video, we're going to look at two things. One, what drove me to file bankruptcy and alternatives I looked at before filing, and what were the effects on my credit after being discharged. As a reminder, I'm doing this video series in first person, but this is actually someone here on our Ascend team that filed bankruptcy recently and wanted to share their perspective to help others understand how bankruptcy works. To first kick off my story, let's start with what drove me to file bankruptcy, along with alternatives I looked at along the way. I actually first started weighing different options to resolve my debt in 2015. At the time, I had $14,000 of unsecured credit card debt. I was working in banking at the time, making a minimal salary. Given the nature of my job, I was concerned my employment would be at risk if I chose to file bankruptcy at that time. Now, while I was struggling to make headway on my credit card payments, a manager of mine at the time suggested that I look into a debt management program, also known as nonprofit credit counseling. I ended up finding a solid program that worked well for me at that time. It was a 5-year program that I ended up being able to complete in 3 years. I was able to achieve a substantial reduction in my monthly minimum payments, which allowed me to pay more each month. Now, fast forward to 2019, we had accumulated some debt again. We had met with a local attorney, but the retainer was too much for us at the time, so we decided to hold off. I was doing okay managing my debt until the pandemic hit, affecting my business and both my spouse and I's income. During the shutdown, our debt amount grew. It got to the point near at the end of 2021 where we needed to consider options again. We were able to locate a debt consolidation loan to consolidate some payments. However, that only helped us for a few months. Early in 2022, we ended up moving to another state. We tried to file bankruptcy in the new state that we moved in, but we were told that we needed to live in that state for the greater part of 160, 180 days. At the point, we had been living there for 91 days, so we tried something else. We opted into a debt settlement program or debt relief program. Now, we didn't actually enroll or start paying into the debt relief program, but we did start to let all of our debt go past due. We were on track to enroll, but then we got a letter in the mail stating that we owed money from a previous surgery. At the time of the surgery, we qualified for low income assistance, but since going back to work and having an increase in income, we were expected to pay the bill back in full. Now, at this point, we were both overwhelmed. We were getting tons of collection calls. The debt amount that we owed was now over $100,000 with no end in sight. When it rains, it pours. Right? Wrong. We decided to take control of our life and bite the bullet. In one of my later videos, we will go over what to look for in a bankruptcy attorney to get the process started. Next, let's look at the effects towards our credit score after we were discharged. Now, our biggest concern was that we would be blacklisted for 10 years on our credit after filing bankruptcy from any type of credit or loans. We were so wrong. Some information we found from research that made this decision so much easier. You can buy a house 2 years after if you go with an FHA, or 4 years after if you go with a conventional. You are actually able to buy a car as soon as your bankruptcy is discharged. Now, your rate may be higher, but you can mitigate this by putting more down or waiting until your score goes up after the discharge. You will get offers for credit cards after discharge. We started getting offers about a week after we were discharged. Now, after hearing that there could be light at the end of the tunnel, it was the confirmation we needed to know that we were making the best decisions for ourselves. As I continue this series, hitting the like button below is an encouraging way for me to know that these videos are helpful to you. If you're still comparing your options to get out of debt and curious about the bankruptcy option and information about that, feel free to schedule a time with me or someone using a link below, or call us at 833-272-3631. I'd love to chat with you. Let's get out of debt together. Thanks so much for watching and hope you have a great rest of your day.